Hello, I'm Alison Murdoch, Chair of Trustees at Jamyang Buddhist Centre in London.
And I'm Fabienne, Director at Jamyang.
So thank you very much for giving us a few moments of your time. We just wanted to bring you up to date with what's been happening at the centre and current progress towards reopening and other key subjects like that. I want to start by reassuring you that the centre is, despite these difficult and challenging times that we've been through, the centre is very much alive and well. In terms of finances, we are still okay. We've benefited from the government schemes, particularly the furlough scheme. We still have 3 staff on furlough who we can't afford to bring back at this point. We also received a government grant because of the income that we've lost through not being able to do our venue hire businesses. We don't know when those are going to reopen, but we are looking particularly into how we can augment any income from the cell block. Because that seems to make sense at this time. We don't know when we're going to be running events and classes or hosting other groups. But even for a few years, if we can make a good income through the cell block, that seems to make sense. Venerable Fabienne, would you tell us something about what it's been like to live in the centre during lockdown?
Well, anyone that lives in London, I think, has experienced during the lockdown, things were in many ways blissfully quiet compared to the rest of the time. But and we were fortunate that Geshe Namdak returned to London. He was in Nepal literally just days before the lockdown happened, and so he was able to do retreat in the courthouse, which was very sweet for us to be able to support that. And he said he enjoyed it very much, and
particularly
it was
the food. I heard
particularly the food, absolutely. But also, I feel like the space that the lockdown has unexpectedly offered us has actually been a blessing. Because before the lockdown, we were so focused on the income generating activity to support education. Without those, we've been actually been able to focus a lot more on education, which has been a real breath of fresh air. And I think as a community, you'll see the fruit of that this year and then starting next year as well. And I personally, from that experience, I'm determined that when we reopen, we keep that focus on the education, because it is the most important contribution that we can make as a community. And so I know you'll talk about BP. We were able to do a lot more practices through the inspiration of Geshe Namdak. We have a new lineage statue project, and you, the community, responded so spontaneously and so generously. We were able to raise the funds. The statue have arrived. We're building a beautiful altar. So when we reopen to the public, you will be able to see a transformed temple, actually. And so it's generating a lot of virtue and positive energy for the well-being of the community, which feels wonderful.
That's great to hear. I wanted to talk particularly about the basic programme, which is very close to my heart because I had the opportunity to do the first one, and I've experienced so much benefit for myself, for my own life and for my practice. So the basic programme will start off online, but we hope that it will also be a campus course as soon as we can do that. And we've now had over 140 people apply to do it, not just from this country, but internationally. There is a process, but it's a very welcoming process, and I think most people get through. It's really making sure that the people who want to do it will get what they want from that experience. And the closing date is still to come. I think it's the 14th of September. So please do consider that if you have any inclination to doing serious study in our tradition. Having done it myself, it's entirely possible to fit this together with being a householder and living a normal life. I think it's been designed that way, hasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It has, to make it possible for those who have hefty commitments to their family, their jobs, but have a wish to delve deeper in their study, to be able to engage at that level.
And you have the opportunity to have the most extraordinary teacher Really 1 in 7 billion. I mean, he's the only person to have had a Western scientific education and then live for 20 years in one of the great monasteries of South India and go through the whole of that extraordinary teaching regime, often with masters who've come out of Tibet themselves. So I think this is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for anybody who wants to do that kind of study. And the team, I mean, as the board have been watching with enormous respect, as the team have geared themselves up to really try and offer this at a university level, not just the teachings, but there will be teaching assistants, there will be discussion sessions, there will be assignments, all these different kinds of things to make it possible for people to really engage with the material. So
exciting. Time to apply. Think about it. Think about it.
So I imagine a lot of people are wondering when the centre that's so dear to us will actually reopen. Do you have any news on that?
Yeah, thank you. And we're taking our time. Things are evolving continuously, as you all know. And so we're decided to be cautious and reevaluate things. Every month we reevaluate. So we don't have a date yet. We're very aware that this is a cherished place for many of you, and a number of you are eager to re-enter the space. And so when we feel that we're able to support it in a way that is safe for everyone, then we will reopen, but no date as of yet.
And just to reassure, the trustees are very hands-on in this process. 2 of the trustees have formed a small group with Fabienne and some of her team to try and keep abreast of the legislation and government advice. But we very much have safety in mind. The safety of people visiting the building, but also the safety of the team. I mean, I'm glad to report that, you know, none of our immediate community, with one exception, I think, have actually had COVID themselves. And we just really want to keep it that way. So please have patience with us. We are really looking forward to seeing you both on Zoom and face to face as soon as we possibly can. And thank you so much for your support in the meantime.
Thank you so much for watching this video and for keeping in touch with us in the many ways that you have over the month. And we wish you all well.
Thank you.